Hello, everyone. Well, and literally one person. Hey, call your friend.
Hi, your girlfriend. Tell them to join the chat.
Yes,
Call the people.
call the people. Thank you very much. Come on in. I want to go on with the monologue, but I only see one person. So, although you are very deserving, but I want to make sure that we get some folks in. Please spread the word.
Share.
Let's see. Where's the comment? Okay, I see one. All right, come on.
Come on in the room.
Yes,
Welcome. Come
away
here.
from the dinner. Welcome to Casual Sunday with Chela and the Girls Next Door. We are chilling because it's the day before the holiday, just enjoying each other's company, and we have a fabulous meal waiting for us. So don't think that we're going to shorten this episode any, but we are. So we have a great show lined up for you today, and please, when you get a moment, share this live, spread the word. Let's make this a family affair, and we'll be right back.
Along my journey, I have met some amazing people, different ages, from different backgrounds, who all live a different experience. I wanted to create conversations where we could talk about celebrity buzz, trending issues, but mostly about things that impact our lives. My name is Chela, and welcome to our world.
All right, welcome. So please take a moment, spread this live, do a watch party. Let's get the whole family involved.
Yes.
Before we get started, I want to send love to our Girl Squad members who are at home tonight, who couldn't join us, but thankfully we have some really great people with us, with me tonight. So love you all. See you guys soon. So my royal siblings, I'd like to welcome Queen Vanessa and Queen Nina.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, y'all.
Joining me today. So I'm ready. We got a lot of things that we want to run down today,
Yes.
and let's get started.
Shall we?
So the other day marked the 1 year anniversary of George Floyd's death. So, how do you all feel? Was there anything significant for either of you?
I think what comes up for me first is that it also happened to mark the 1 year anniversary of Tony McDade's death as well.
Correct.
And
Definitely.
that didn't get the same reaction or press, which still goes to show the erasure of like Black trans folks and the violence that they face too.
I didn't feel anything honestly. I mean, no disrespect to the family, but like you said, we don't. For me, we don't even get the same recognition in that space of time or somewhat type of healing because they don't even recognize the actual thing that took place. And so I it's just another thing added onto that list of how we go through life with these traumas now. So I didn't really feel anything.
Totally understand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, like there was a life lost, and
Right.
there was this one in particular. It created this action. It created this awareness,
Mhm.
right? Well, no, let's not say awareness. It created a movement.
Mm-hmm.
Bodies started to move around for it. But when I saw that, on social media there was these posts, I immediately thought, gosh, what trans person do we memorialize, in this manner, right? Like, because I think as time has progressed more and so lately, there has been action behind the murders of our siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Malaysia Booker, I think, was maybe one of the more recent incidents where people really mobilized behind this incident. They wanted to get answers, but we still don't celebrate like the annual day that someone's left this earth from our community. So,
Right. It's not a regular practice or a piece of our culture to think of all of us who are lost, which includes like Black trans women when we are like violently murdered, or Black trans men when we're murdered at the hands of police. Yeah, it's not the same.
the only thing that I've ever remembered that was recognized was like maybe Gwen Araujo, like, but nothing of anyone black.
Mm.
So our next thing is Pose. Oh my gosh. Have you all been keeping up with Pose? Please.
Please tell me you have.
Pose has been bomb.
It really has though.
Yeah, I know this is their third season, and so
The final season.
final season,
Right.
yeah, it is a lot of shade. But they want to go out with a bang, and I'm not mad because I have been glued at the TV.
Yes. I think the storyline, like, I'm glad that we are getting to see the in-depth back stories to how they became who they are. I wish that third season would be the first season,
Yeah,
so we could then see how to we could see a more developed process of understanding the characters. But I mean, hey, if this is the third and final season, I'm glad that we get to truly see. Oops, spoiler alert! I don't know, but you get to see Black trans joy,
yeah.
and that is like radical. Like to think, even in this imaginary. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's imaginary, but of course it is.
It's
And
the
that
dream.
aspect, yes, the
Mhm.
dream of actually being in that space and seeing that joy is so like contagious.
Yeah, one thing I really like about Pose is I like how they touch on so many like stories that we can personally connect to. And that's something that's been consistent across all seasons of Pose. It's just like moment after moment where you're like, well, I can connect to that. That's so real. Like, but nobody ever talks about it. And you damn sure haven't seen it in mainstream media. So to have this wonderful opportunity where we see ourselves reflected and ending so soon, like it's definitely bittersweet because this season has been like back to back punching with everything that we want to see,
Right.
everything that we ourselves have lived. And so, I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm excited for tonight's episode, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, tonight's episode.
it's a nice episode.
I see it coming from, oh, my son Marvin. Love you, honey. I miss you. He says you guys look beautiful.
Oh well, thank you. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends to
Yeah,
come
tell
through.
Come see the beautiful girls next door. Send them our way.
Send them our way. But yeah, I've definitely been enjoying Pose.
Mm-hmm.
And it is sad that it is the final season, you know. But the production thought that it was time for Pose to end this season.
Did they?
Yeah, so it wasn't like the network or like ratings or anything. It was just this was the life of the story. Yeah, so I'm really glad that we're getting the chance to see like where they come from, a little of that grit, and I believe that acting has been pretty powerful,
Almost definitely.
and so what I love about this is that it gives me hope that this acting will give them an opportunity for more work in the future.
Yes.
Most definitely.
And we've seen it expand within their capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
I, for one, have loved Dominique's when you look at season one, and then I look at third season and how
Yeah.
she just
Yeah.
commands the scenes. And I'm like, you could tell season one that she was still in that space of trying to figure out her way. And
Now
it's up
she's
to because,
comfy.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yes, then she done filled her shoes.
Oh my God.
I love it. Okay, so our next one is Bill Cosby and okay. Next. So I wonder if I can actually wait. I do want to share my screen. Hold on, everyone. I want to show y'all this video.
Yes.
Give us the receipt. Bring forth receipts.
Nothing like a receipt.
Yeah,
Nothing like a
nothing
receipt.
like a good old receipt.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. I'm like, why am I holding on?
Listen, we here.
All four of y'all be cool. Like, hold on. Okay. So we came across, we love to browse the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So we came across this one. I want your thoughts afterwards. Is that it?
Nope.
No?
Okay.
Okay.
Next one. One more time.
One more
Almost
time.
got it.
Yeah.
Almost there.
I mean, how?
No, there's a finger.
What is it?
Right.
I can share screen. Oh, where? It's right up here. Oh, it's over here. Technical difficulties. I mean, don't act like y'all don't know about that.
We are independent women doing
That's
it for
right.
ourselves.
So be killed. Okay, now we're ready. No.
Boom.
All right.
All right.
Well, of course, we have to give you a little commercial.
Yeah, Diamond Robinson first met her neighbor who accused her of being too loud today. And Diamond and I were talking, we both have loud voices that carry, but she really didn't think that she was talking so loud that the police should be called. Diamond Robinson says she was just walking up and down Cushing Street, the street she lives on in East Point, talking on her phone on Thursday when she says one of her neighbors approached her. Do you think that you can get off your phone or talk lower? One of those things that she said. And I said, get out of my face. And I proceeded to walk past her. So she's saying whatever she's saying. 3 minutes later, East Point police pulls up. So Diamond started doing a Facebook Live video. And I hope you know that this is all being recorded. The woman who called the police just moved to the neighborhood a couple of weeks ago, according to Diamond, and she is white. That's an important part of the story because Diamond thinks she's being targeted because she's black. I'm not doing anything wrong by walking up and down the street talking on my phone. But as Diamond continues to record, the police officers end up writing her a ticket. A ticket for being a public nuisance because I'm talking too loud on my phone. That's why I got a ticket. And that ticket isn't cheap. $385. There's no way that the police should be called on me when I am on my own property, in my own neighborhood, on my own block. Diamond plans to fight the ticket, and because she's so upset about the whole ordeal, she's now having security cameras installed outside her home. As far as blasting everything on Facebook Live, she says she felt like she had no other choice. A lot of these things are being pushed under the rug, and it doesn't need to. We can sit here all day, we can chant, we can riot, we can do all of those things that is not going to make a change if you don't speak up at that time and at that moment. Her message to the neighbor who called the police: leave me alone.
Yeah.
What's going on? Are you upset? What did I do to you? Okay, so we did get a chance to talk to the neighbor very briefly. She did not want to talk about the issue, but she said that the ticket speaks for itself. I was stopped by the police department. They didn't want to talk either, but I said to the supervising officer, I said, 385.
We can't talk on the street, we can't walk on the street, we can't run in the street, we can't jog in the street, we can't play hopscotch in the streets. What can we do? We can't chew bubble gum in the street. Sleep in our house.
We can't go to the corner store.
We
We
can't wear
can't drive. We
glasses.
can't.
So when I saw this, first of all, I thought it was like absurd. But then I also looked back at the time when like I used to catch public transportation. I would like some people would get on the bus with blaring radios or something,
Right.
or they would be on their phone right on the bus going in. Like, hey.
But obviously that's like public transportation normal that most folks have to share. You're talking about, like she said, in front of her property, in the home she lives in her neighborhood, on her street. And I guess my question before even jumping into this would be, if the roles were reversed, would it be the same?
Of
Would it be the same action? Would, Black folks call the police on a white woman if she was loudly talking on her phone, or will we just pay? Will we just pay it? What is loud? Right. We have to say what is loud.
Right.
That's the question to be asked.
Yeah. I just think that they'll get into a space to where they just want to they want to nitpick over any and everything when it comes to how Black people are showing up publicly and privately. Because as we can see, if this lady is walking, it's another thing that we actually have to be there to see it, because I don't want to make that jump, but at the same time, under that space, you don't necessarily have to call the police. But just tell a neighbor, hey,
Yeah.
you're walking up and down.
First of all, you just moved to this neighborhood. Just moved. Slow your roll. You ain't even been there 30 days, baby. Like you haven't even passed probation yet.
And you coming through with these demands.
And consequences.
Come on, Karen. You
got to
please
do better.
One thing I will say is I will agree with, what the sister has said. Like, you do need to be calling it out in the moment. I do think that is like the secondary part that goes hand in hand with the organizing work that we do, is you do need to be taking that time to call it out in the moment. That's something that I choose to receive from that.
Yes.
I think it's important.
No. Yeah, I see that.
Don't wait, because don't let it build up.
Yeah.
No. And always have your receipts and records.
Well, also it's just like create a culture, create a habit where like folks call it out as the norm.
Yeah.
Like folks don't take no shit in the moment.
Right.
We not stewing on it. We not taking it home with us. We not bringing that spirit in our house. Like we are going to nip that in the bud right then and right there. And when we build like collective energy or collective movement around this, then it becomes the norm, and folks ain't gonna want too much of that.
No. I figure that. I feel you that.
So we definitely have some topics on the list, to discuss the anti-trans bills that are popping up across the country. I don't feel it.
I don't see it.
I don't see it, and we're just not going to give that energy right now.
No.
But I just, as human beings, sweep under your own porch.
Before you try to sweep around mine.
Ooh,
You have said that, sister.
and I need that on a t-shirt. Thank you. So, this day in history.
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, we'd like to say happy belated birthday to Laverne Cobb, who celebrated her birthday yesterday. Always want to give honor to those who have kind of like been in the trenches and allowed us to gain access in some way. So thank you, Laverne, for all that you do and all that you celebrate. Also yesterday, Tom Bradley, well, back in 1973, in Los Angeles, Tom Bradley became the very first Black mayor of Los Angeles. Not only did he become the first mayor who's black, but he held that job for 20 years. There have never been anyone to hold that position that long. In fact, for those who travel a lot, we have an airport named after this black man. It's in it's in LAX. It's the Tom Bradley International Airport. So that's right here in LA. Let's see. Oh, don't touch that screen. We'll be right back.
Tell your friends. Talk to the girl.
Come see the girl. But we don't have a commercial, so
It's all right.
I'm
Come see the girl.
I'm just gonna go to the next. Um, so, as many of you may know, I am the International Vice President of Flux, which is an affinity group to AIDS Healthcare Foundation. Our goal at Flux is just to raise the profile and elevate the profile of trans and non-binary community members. How do we do that? We do that by leveraging um, advocacy initiatives and special events. And we're really about bringing our community together. And this pandemic has been pretty crazy. So we've been sort of doing virtual events, but we're proud to announce that we're having our very first in-person event, which is going to be happening June 20th. And you can check out the Flux Facebook page, our social media for more information. But it's centering our brethren. So it's called Touch Impact, and it's one of a kind event because we don't always get a chance to elevate our brothers and put them out in front. And so this is an opportunity that we get a chance to do that. So make sure you plug us in, follow Flux at Flux_8HF. Boom. The things that are good. Chela, oh, did you want to speak? Could you hold a few hats? Did you want to talk, about our friends at Ahmad?
Yes, thank you, Queen Shayla. So I work at the Ahmad Institute located in Los Angeles. It's Arming Minorities Against Addiction and Disease. And so we provide a plethora of resources to the community, the Black LGBTQIA plus community. And so if you want to get any information, you can go to our website. You can type it in Google. You can type it in everything search engine to find the Ahmad Institute, AMAAD Institute, and you could just look up all our resources there. Check me out. I am the newly manager of transgender equity at Ahmad Institute, and so we're going to be building out a lot of resources centering trans and non-binary people because we know that that population deserves the same resources that everybody can receive. And so we're putting an emphasis into that space. And so if you need more information, like I said, check me out on the website, Nina Barkers, as well as my other coworkers. And we also like to build throughout the community, and we have a lovely working relationship with the Unique Women's Coalition that we try to uphold in the community because we need to see more of that. And so it is my intent to be in that space to always put that community in the forefront so that we can provide and make our community stronger together. So yeah, check out Lamar Institute.
I love it. Thank you.
Of course.
I just want to say yes, Ahmad has definitely come to the water with us, and so when they say sink or swim, we're swimming together. So no shade. So thanks for all the love. Okay. So as I mentioned just a few moments ago about the pandemic, it's been crazy. We've all been, dealing with it in our own way. And so now that the world is reopening, how are we handling that? Let's check in.
Yeah, so ladies, I want to know, like, as you all heard, the CDC has, put out a new mandate or, put out guidelines about the mask mandate saying that folks who are vaccinated don't need to wear one anymore. And in fact, California seems to be aligning with the CDC's guidelines starting June 15th. So that's coming up in like a matter of weeks. And how did folks feel about that? My question is, How do you feel about the world reopening, and what are your practices going to be around masks? You gonna kick yours off? You gonna what you gonna do?
I mean, it depends on the situation
Mhm.
and the place and time.
Okay.
If I'm going to a public setting for a long period of time, I'm gonna wear my mask.
What kind of public? Like any public setting,
Any
or
public setting.
okay? So you
If I'm
still wearing
gonna
a mask.
be at an event more than 10, 15 minutes, well, even in that space, I'm gonna wear my mask. But I just know I haven't worn it in a long period of time. And so I know that would probably cause me more anxiety. So going back into that space, I think we should all just continue to wear the mask. I mean, because I can't, no Tino say I can't really trust the government and their issuing of saying when we can and when we shouldn't, because literally they haven't taken care of us anyway. The rollout has been very damaging to the segmented population that I represent, which is Black people, and we all know that we have to be in these public spaces, and so we are the ones that are getting mostly affected by it. And I just want to do my part in that space to say, hey, if I don't want to endanger other people, I'm going to keep doing the thing that I know protected me. I would think, and that's where no.
What about you?
I'm on the fence. I am like a nervous Nancy. Although I'm fully vaccinated, that still doesn't stop me from being cautious, being worried. And when I'm in an environment where there's several people and they're not wearing a mask, and I don't know they're vaccinated, I do get anxiety. Like, and I am a planner, so a lot of what I do is events or like collective building in a network or working in a network, right? So it's a concern.
Mhm.
Um, and during the pandemic, I think it's because I created such a bubble, and now that we have to sort of
Breaking
step
that bubble.
outside of that
Yeah.
bubble, it just makes me a little nervous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could definitely feel that.
That was the piece that I was gonna touch on. I'm not too nervous about like the mask mandates in terms of thinking that I'm going to like catch germs or pass germs because like I'm vaccinated, I'm fully vaccinated. My social circle is incredibly small and also are comprised of vaccinated people. Um, I tend to be socially distanced by natural practice. So like all of these things don't make me stress. The things that make me stress are like I've been wearing the mask for a year and I don't care how you see the face that I'm making, or like I don't care.
So it's a plus to it.
Yeah, I want to wear the mask when I go into Ralph's because I don't want you to see that I'm talking to myself. Like, like there is a comfort. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
No,
There
that's
is a
true.
comfort.
Yeah.
If I only wanted to put eyeliner and lashes on,
Yeah.
I can. So these are the reasons why I will be continuing to wear the mask because if I want to, I should have that option. But I definitely, what worries me is that for people who do not get the mask, like do not get the vaccine and do not like wearing masks, that this mandate coming down will enable them to, in the same way that you've seen them all pandemic, right? Anti-maskers going into places and making a scene. Now will prove I'm vaccinated and
Going
like
by the honor code.
going by the honor code, which anyway.
Can we hold that?
No.
So, it's interesting. Well, what do you think that folks should? Is there anything you think that they should keep in mind? Is there anything you should tell them to be thinking about? Like any practices for folks who are trying to figure out what they should be doing?
Man, take it one day at a time. Like take it one moment at a time. Like make sure that you check in with yourself to say, hey, okay, these are the things that kept me thus far. If I want to change one little thing, let's see how that works out for the time being.
Right.
If I don't like it, let me go back to saying that I have to not isolate, but like set up those parameters of how I go into the public place, so that way you won't you reduce your chances of actually contracting in that place. And so it's just certain things that you have to fill out for yourself because once again, the the systems in place did not actually do a great job in ushering in this the ways that we're supposed to interact with it. And if that was presented to us in a timely manner, we would not have to have had worried about these things now, I believe. Like it wouldn't be of less it would be of less stress for us to actually navigate in this place because we would have had everything in a strategic order, as I would think they would want to give the public since we are the last to know anyway.
Well, even with what you're saying, I mean, if that were true, there's still a vast majority of our community who will not be following or adhering to any guidelines. You know, like I actually, I use that test. So I just had a driver the other day. He was telling me, and he asked me, was I vaccinated? I'm like, yeah. How about you? He goes, oh, no, no, no. And I go, do you smoke weed? He goes, yeah. And I'm like, and you smoke weed of different strands. You don't know where it came from. You just smoked it. He was like, damn, you just fucked me up.
Yeah, you have to get them where they can, understand.
I mean, that's a really good point to raise. Like having one conversation with somebody else, right? Like where you bring it to them like that. Like you smoke weed, right? Like you bring it to them on a relatable thing so that they can make that connection for themselves. And also, I think another thing that's important for this is like know your risk. Like calculate your risk. Like do you hang out around a lot of people? Can you do that less often? Who do you have in your family? Who do you have in your networks? Are they vaccinated or aren't they? Like, how are they prone to being sick? Are you prone to being sick? Where do you have to go on like a daily basis or a weekly basis?
Where you plan to get your COVID test?
Can you consider taking your vaccine? Absolutely. There's always things that need to be considered, and I think that we've had like the lowest rate of like COVID infections per day, and that's promising. And I guess I do test the science in that way, and I do test the medical sciences when it comes to like the vaccine or whatever. I may not, like you said, you talked about the mismanagement of information and the way in which governments have handled this whole situation has been less than ideal. And so I feel you on that. And I think the same thing in that, like it could have been done so much better and they have so much more trust to build with the communities, especially when we're talking about like black and trans and queer, communities who are always the afterthought in everything that's going on. So
and poor.
And poor, and poor, absolutely. Definitely. So yeah.
So we definitely want to hear from you. So even after this ends, please feel free to chime in on those comments. Let us know how you're feeling. I know that Queen Nina and I, we kind of highlighted an org. Is there an org that you would like to highlight?
Um,
A group, an org?
Well, I guess I will give a shout out to my girl over in doing work in Pittsburgh, Sisters PGH, and she over there getting the folks together. Miss Ciara Thomas, we see you, Queen. You out there making things happen, and folks are seeing your vision too. And hopefully all the blessings keep coming, and you keep doing the work that the community needs you to do, sis.
Yes, keep glowing. Love that. Well, we are going to shorten this episode. It is Memorial Day weekend, and we all have festivities, clearly, because, but, so we have a little festivities too. And let's see, let's make sure I covered all my bases. Oh, so of course at UWC, we do have COVID tracing, a peer navigator. Queen Shannon is our dedicated staff who's on board to be your all knowing for COVID-19 resources. So if you need any, or if you know someone that does, please feel free to hit us up. My phone number is toll free 877 UWC line LINE. Okay. We want to send out love to our Girl Squad members that are at home. Thank you, Queen Vanessa and Queen Nina, for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Queen.
Let's see, you never know who. I'm sorry. See, I haven't done this in unison in so long. So let me start this again. Always be nice to your neighbor. You never, wait, how does that go again? Wait a minute. Okay, all right, I got it. Take 3. I'm sorry, we even have a commercial before we let y'all go. Okay, and then I'll come back and do it right this time.
That's right.
Right.
Unique Women's Coalition is so important because it demonstrates what we can achieve when we come together and center the experiences that we have as Black trans people in organizing ourselves and advocating for our needs. It highlights the fact that we have existed before colonization and white supremacy as communities of people who have been capable of articulating our needs and capable of organizing ourselves to meet those needs. And Unique Women's Coalition is a great reflection of that.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Jesse Medina, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. I am one of the board members of the Unique Women's Coalition. Just wanted to take a few seconds out of today just to highlight the organization and all the great things that we're doing. Love that. The main thing is to let everybody know that we are ensuring that we have a space for everybody under the trans umbrella, in specific, all of our trans brothers and trans masculine siblings. So please, if you have some time, show some love, support us, and don't forget to follow us at the UWC Official on Instagram.
It feels so good to have an organization like Unique Women's Coalition show up for our community because it showcases the visibility and the vivaciousness that exists in our community. To have an organization be in leadership, to have an organization to be visible, to have an organization that is doing the work on the front lines, it teaches us that we don't need a little, we need a little to do a lot.
I started in 1968.
Yes, ma'am.
I get extremely emotional about it.
It's been a rough journey.
It's super important to have family.
Oh, it's everything. It's everything. Because I know I'm not alone.
I wake up in a strange new place. I search and find my game face. Muster up the energy to seize the day. Get up and try to fly away. But this is how it works. There was work. You get tired. And you're planting seeds in the garden. And you know that the flowers will soon be there. Yeah, you know that the flowers will soon be there.
When we started out many years ago, we didn't have none of this. People helping us.
But just having community come together and having something for them, to me, it means the world.
It's building up empowerment, so we're not alone.
I live in Virginia and have to go to D.C. once or twice a month just to be me, just to be Jasmine, just to show the world who I am.
Just being visible in their own authentic self.
Back in the day, the ones that opened the doors for the girls, the lesbian girls, because the boys back then were more prejudiced with us.
We have lost plenty of trans women, and that needs to come to a stop. We need to come together as people, period.
We need a lot of that unity and love.
I have to wear this mask and try to be this boy that my parents wanted me to be. This is my path.
The more we're visible, especially in media, or when you walk into a place and you see a person of trans experience, or anything that falls under the trans umbrella, working and having a job, you're like, wow, I know that the message is getting out.
We're able to feel safe and have a place to call our own.
I might be alone in the journey that I go before myself, but I know if I call my good sister, if I call my good community. It might direct me in a way that I might not have discovered before. But that's the purpose of community.
I'm Chela, and I am the founder and president of Unique Women's Coalition.
Diamond Clinton.
Chanel Lemire.
CJ Jackson.
CJ. Yes.
This is Abdullah Hall. I am the artistic director of the Trans Chorus of Los Angeles. My pronouns are they, them, theirs.
The legendary Miss Loretta Loretta.
Yeah.
Woo! All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining our show this evening. We hope that you had a great time. We always love having time and space with you. Always be nice to your neighbor because she could be a girl next door. See you next month. Bye-bye.